Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and I recently posted a whole slew of pictures of me and all of my gear on a green screen on the auxiliary board so people could Photoshop me into fun, interesting, cool, and ridiculous locations. Still hoping for more of those, so if you have the talent, put me places. It'll be cool. We'll use them for advertising. It'll be fantastic. But in all of my heavy loadout, whenever I had the mask on, people very quickly noticed this. And of course wanted to know what it was. Was it functional? Was it a heads-up display? What did it do? And those of you who were at Jared's Epic Nerf Battle 3 and went to the meet and greet may have already seen it. A couple people at West vs. Zombies got the chance to see it, and if any of you managed to catch the second of the Discovery Channel Canada episodes I was on, it was featured there as well. It is functional. It is a Vufine display, a tiny little computer display that displays what my gun cam sees. There's a cable that runs along the gun, up my single point sling, across through the molly webbing, and then up to the display on the mask, and it allows me to see whatever my blaster is in fact pointed at, and allows me to do stuff like this. That's right, I can shoot around corners, I can shoot from cover, I can shoot over my shoulder, I can look in two directions. It's really, really cool. And what's more is if I plug in a camera that has IR, this one doesn't unfortunately, I need to find a similar one that does, I can see in the dark through the little display. It's not the greatest, it doesn't have as big a display as say the night vision scope that Nerf came out with that I have on IR, but it will work in a pinch. If I am going somewhere really dark for a short period of time, it could make all the difference. Wouldn't be something I'd want to use like constantly because it is a fairly small display, but it would work. Let's go take a closer look. Alright, so what is this absurdity? Well, as I said, it is a Vufine Plus, which is just a tiny HDMI display that can be mounted. It's designed to be mounted to a pair of glasses, and it comes with a really hideous pair of glasses, very hipster chic, which obviously didn't work for me because I needed to be able to have my face protected. So I made my own mounting bracket just out of sheet metal, added a little bit of foam for some padding, and then brackets to hold it in place, and it does have a built-in magnet, but I didn't think that was going to be strong enough, thus the clips. And it quite thoroughly holds it in place. It would take quite a bit for it to get knocked off. No dart hitting it is going to tear it off. Now, if a zombie, slapped it, it might come loose, but it's connected by the wire, so that wouldn't be a problem. And it is just a tiny HDMI display that is then held right in front of my right eye, slightly above. It doesn't block your vision nearly as much as many of you probably think, because you've got the two eyes, so the left kind of compensates. If you really want to see what's in the display, you have to close your left eye and focus on that, because otherwise it's really not that easy for it to be clear. Which is good, because if you're not wanting to look through it, then it's just fine. And if I move it up ever so slightly, just that much, then you can't actually see the display. You have to be looking pretty much directly into it to see the display. So if it gets moved up slightly, then you can't see it, and it completely ceases to impede your vision. And then when you want to see through it, you just have to move it down about a half of an inch, and it suddenly becomes clear and in your vision, and it's really quite nice. The display is actually remarkably clear for how small it is, largely because it's really close to your eye. It would probably be even better if I weren't looking through a metal mesh lens, but I still can see just fine. As you could see in the video, I was perfectly capable of hitting that little zombie, which is a little bit smaller than a man-sized target, so I would hypothetically be able to hit something. It connects to the camera on my blaster using HDMI cable. That's HDMI micro to HDMI mini, which is nifty. It just plugs in right here. I loop it through this part of the frame. I do need to make a better clip for that. Something that actually holds the wire, but I just loop it through there. It then loops into the molly right behind my neck, and so there's no risk of it getting caught on anything. It then runs along the back of my vest, down my single point sling where it is attached, and then connects into the back of this Ion Speed Pro camera. And because it is a hardline connection, there's pretty much no lag. That's the one thing that if I considered going to some kind of a wireless solution, the problem is even on Bluetooth, there's always going to be some amount of lag, I think, with a wireless connection, whereas a wired connection doesn't have that. Now, the one disadvantage to this camera, and I need to look into fancier cameras now that I have the means to do so. When I got this, my channel hadn't gone huge yet. The minigun hadn't come out yet, so I didn't have the funds to get anything fancier than these. These are my Christmas presents to myself in 2017, because this camera cannot record while it's displaying. If you try to do it, it just locks the camera up and you have to reset the camera, and it's a problem. So all of the footage you saw earlier where, you saw the GoPro footage of what I could see, you saw the camera footage of what, the enemy could see, and then you saw the actual, what the camera could see. And obviously, it was some clever editing. It wasn't all shot at once because I couldn't record with this at the same time that I was doing the footage of where I'm actually shooting around corners. But it gives you an idea of what I can see through the gun cam. And I'd like to get one that actually can record and view at the same time, because I'd like to get good, gun cam footage, because that's where the real action is. The GoPro may not necessarily be pointing where the blaster is pointing, so I'd like to be able to do that. And still be able to use my gizmo. So, that is what it is, and that is how it works. For those of you who want to know, I got it all on Amazon. It wasn't, super cheap. I did go for a decent camera, and this thing was on sale because it was Black Friday when I got it. So now they may be more expensive, they may be less expensive. There are probably better products on the market now than this. Battery life could be better. I do have recharge, pods that I can plug into it if I need to, but for the most part, once it runs out, I just go, well, all right, I guess I'm done with that. I would like to get some rail-mounted holders for the recharger so I can easily recharge my cameras while I'm in the field, but other than that, that is the basics. Let's go recap some more. So there you have it, my mask-mounted gun cam display. I do have some plans for a more interesting model by the end of this year. I have a build that I'm going to be doing that I want to integrate a few more nifty things to, and hopefully eventually there'll be more software. I might try linking it to my phone and being able to use more software there, like connecting it to a drone, because I should be able to link this to my phone and then link my phone to a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth drone camera, and then I'd be able to see even further, or to be able to do video chat, or who knows what else I would be able to link through that little display and be able to see and do. Looking forward to it. Technology is cool. I've got a friend, the first person who I showed it to was my friend John, who's actually in the Army, and he was thoroughly perturbed because the Army's been waiting for this technology for 20 years, and I bought it on Amazon. So yeah, there it is. Hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun. I hope to use it at some point in the future. I don't know where I would. Possibly competitive stuff, though it does honestly feel a little cheap. And a lot of, Blaster Tag Association doesn't allow you to shoot unless at least part of you is exposed. Not so much a risk of blind firing as much as fairness, because you know, you should present a target if you're going to shoot. But it would allow me to scout, as long as I didn't fire while I was, you know, utilizing it. It would allow me to scout and see what's going on and then pop up when necessary. Though they would probably, and I agree, rule that to be unsportsmanlike. We'll see. If nothing else, I'll find some place to have fun with it. Maybe at one of the Fort Warden Wars or Fort Flagler or something like that. Somewhere where being able to see around corners would be really, really valuable. Anyway, I enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of it. Let me know if you know any better cameras or better versions of this, or what you guys have used, or what have you. Looking forward to seeing what kind of comments I get on this one. Thank you guys for watching.